live radio, local podcasts, the Frederick Podcast Network at listenfrederick.com.
Hey, what's going on, OSP Nation? It seems like it's been forever since we've done a show, and it's only been 2 weeks, to be quite honest with you. So here we are, 2025. Sometimes I'm surprised I made it this far, to be quite honest with you. I'm not going to lie to you. If you knew Maradei in his younger days, you probably think the same thing. Is there anything but football to talk about, though, right now? I don't think so. So let's get serious. College football playoffs, the Final Four, of course. The NFL playoffs, they're all in place now. We will talk about this and anything that might jump off the page from the last few weeks.
National Streaming Sports is brought to you in part by BetUs.com, designed for true fans. NFL odds, Week 1 and futures, college football odds, including Heisman Trophy favorites and playoff odds, NBA odds of division winners and playoffs, Major League Baseball playoff and World Series odds, the National Hockey League Conference playoffs and Stanley Cup odds, and boxing wagers. Betting opportunities include versus the spreads and outright winners, also during the game. Use our link on our website, nessp.info, the Bet Us Opportunities webpage, for a 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits. Must be 21 years old, and remember, bet responsibly.
You're going to call anyone that loves you. You're going to ask them if you can use their card to buy concert tickets because your card's maxed out. Okay. If they say yes, you get the tickets.
I can't call my parents because they already think I make bad financial decisions. Well, so I think I'll call one of my friends.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous. I feel tingly.
What's your not answer?
Giovanna?
Yes.
I was on SeatGeek earlier and I saw 2 tickets for Olivia Rodrigo at a really, really, really good price. So
Oh my god.
I maxed my credit card out by accident last week. Do you think I could use yours to buy the tickets?
Oh my god, yes.
Did I what?
Yeah, you got the tickets. You got the tickets.
I just want tickets. We're going to go to the concert together. Giovanna, I'll call you later. Love you. Thanks for picking up. Oh my god. I'm going to see Olivia Rodrigo.
Yes, thank you, SeatGeek.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world, it's time to experience the O's on the Original Sports Podcast.
Good evening, fellas. How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hey, here we are 7 days into the new year. Unbelievable. It's been nice living here in the general Maryland area and having our 3rd day of school off tomorrow. I mean, you know, I love it, to be quite honest with you.
I'm not a teacher, so I can't enjoy it.
But you always home. You're always home.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't get that luxury.
This is the Sheen's day off.
Somebody said they're gonna. I read somebody said, I think it was on Facebook, I got to review my lesson plans and realize what I got to do when I go back Thursday. I said, I need somebody to give me a brief course on how to be a teacher again. I've been gone for so damn long.
I got 5 pencils.
Oh shit! I'll tell you what. Sizzle, what's going on with you? I hear you're dry January. Fellas, he's dry January.
Good job, sis.
They didn't hear from me. They put me in a room with padding and all kind of shit. I was like shaking.
Good job, sis. You're doing a good job.
Whew. Yeah, I'm sweating over here.
Trying to make that young name great again, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it. No one else is doing dry January?
I don't drink enough to do dry January.
No.
Okay.
You know, like on the weekend. I think of people who do dry January, no offense, Tiz, but, other people I know are doing dry January. And
wait a minute. During the week. Pause. You sent us that video of you in a Santa Claus outfit. Okay. I think that's close enough.
That was December.
Yeah, I mean,
well, it rolls over.
The holidays.
Yeah.
I don't drop a drink during the weekdays.
I got to get ready for the beach.
Yeah.
Let's end this with, did anybody get anything nice for Christmas?
Ooh. Well, fellas,
no.
Noob, what'd you get for Christmas?
Noob,
that is a loaded question.
Is Noob? Wait, can he hear us? He's laughing.
That's
Oh,
true,
my bad. I forgot to turn the mic back on.
I got a rifle, a shotgun, a
couple nice bottles of bourbon, and a winch for my 4-wheeler.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got a winch. It's upstairs.
Oh my gosh.
Good thing she doesn't watch us, huh?
All right, let's go. Get it going.
Seriously, why is Choppers look all serious?
I was reading something. Listen to y'all, man. Like I said, I don't really drink too much. Now, if I do, I'm getting nice, but maybe once every 3-4 months I'll get nice. I mean, damn Cooter Brown drunk.
When you get nice, what's your go-to drink, Chops? What do you like?
Man.
Crown Royal. He a Crown Royal guy. I could tell from here.
No, and the crazy part is, it was straight Vox over ice with a slice of orange. Vox vodka. However, I did buy a couple bottles of the blackberry Crown. I don't normally drink brown liquor. So I don't drink Henny, I don't drink whatever. So normally it's Vox, but I do have the blackberry Crown.
You don't drink Henny? That is the black man's drink.
No.
I had that at a Jamaican barbecue this summer. Whew, it was money. Yeah.
Fellas, my guy Junior Wells, man, he is an apologist. He is an apologist. He's a Tomlin apologist. I don't want to get into that yet, though. I want to go down the rabbit hole with the NCAA playoffs. We're in the Final Four of the NCAA playoffs. Yeah, Junior, stick around. We're going to have to be pretty good. Stick around. Texas and Ohio State, or versus Ohio State, and then PSU and Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. What are you guys thinking? Let me hear some thoughts.
Big Ten matchup.
What, Texas and Ohio State?
No, Ohio State and Penn State.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay.
I'm with T says on that. I mean, I look at it and
I
look at the two teams, look at how one, I always look at luck. What's on, is it on your side at this particular point? And right now, Ohio State and Penn State, the luck is on their side right now. Yeah. And
you're talking luck. You're talking luck with Notre Dame, the luck of the Irish?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm thinking Ohio State. They're just rolling. Ohio State's rolling. They're finally getting their NIL money's worth.
Okay.
Penn State, they got lucky in the aspect of drawing Boise State and SMU.
Yes.
I think Notre Dame is legit. I really think. I'm not gonna, fellas.
Hey.
That win against Georgia, because they got tested, and I like Freeman. That cat, what is his name, Jared or whatever the kid is, everybody's killing him on social media because he stepped in front of the official, ran into him first series. That's BS. Georgia got outplayed. Notre Dame shocked me.
They did. They did. I listen. I'm not a big Notre Dame person, but they did look good. They looked fast. I was like, whoa, where they get? They must have went down south in the 305 area to get some of these brothers, because they had some speed out there. I said, oh man,
I'm not sure
they ain't got the Mount Lebanon guys no more. They got Dade County.
Okay. I like Riley Leonard myself. I think he started a little slow, and he really looked bad in that game. They lost to that Division III school, but he really picked it up after that, like running the ball, throwing the ball, using his check downs. He looks good out there. That's me personally. And I didn't know he was recruited as a baseball player to college. But he's like, nah, I like the contact. Let's go ahead and do that.
Which kills me, though. Remember Florida State years ago? I know you guys remember. Florida State couldn't get a kicker. How are you a top program like Florida State when they couldn't get a quick kicker?
Dude.
And Notre Dame, they've got to have big NIL money. How does your starting quarterback end up being a baseball recruit? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and to be honest with you, he did step up. He has stepped up, but I wasn't sure on him. And I'm still not, let's put the game in Leonard's hands and he'll win it for us. But I'm not that way with Drew Aller either. I pick him over Aller. I understand Aller was player of the year in high school and coming out of PA and this, that, or Ohio, this, that, and the third. But I'm hype on Notre Dame. I really am. And I like Freeman. I hope they do well.
I want to hear Noob's intake because Noobs and I talked about it. He likes Notre Dame going into this.
I do. I'll go with the Texas-Ohio State one first. I feel like Texas just kind of loses focus from time to time. They don't stay locked in, and Ohio State looked pretty impressive at times. So I think Ohio State's going to beat Texas, even though I have Texas in my pool. I think Ohio State's going to beat them. And then Penn State, Notre Dame is tough for me, but I think to me, they both have tremendous defense, but I feel like Penn State's offensive coordinator is doing such a good job of being creative. And they haven't had that in the past. I'm not a huge Penn State fan as far as getting in the playoffs. I feel like they've choked in the past, but for some reason, man, they are getting it done this year. And I think it's their OC. I think the OC has mixed it up enough that they're going to give Notre Dame a run for their money. It's going to be a hell of a game. It's two teams that kind of are very similar, very strong defenses and low-scoring teams. I don't know. It's going to be a hell of a game. I can't wait.
Real quick, News, let me ask you this. Two-part question.
Yeah.
Who has the better athletes, do you think, Notre Dame or Penn State?
Oh, man. I think offensively, Penn State does.
Okay. But overall, would you go Penn State overall? Because
yes.
Overall, okay. Who's the better coach, Freeman or Franklin? Because I know
Freeman
a lot.
All day, every day.
That's what, to me, better athletes versus better coach, and that's why I think it's going to be a good game.
But Franklin has a very good offensive coordinator who, if you watch them, man, they have been so creative. They've never been that way in the past.
Okay, real quick.
He's used to get ground and pound, right? Yeah.
Real quick. Okay, so News, also, for anybody who can answer, but I'm just me and News are cooking right now. Who has Notre Dame, I don't want to say beat, but what win has Notre Dame had, what win has Penn State had this year that Noob or any of you guys are impressed with? Meaning they beat a good team. Because, again, I know they caught a lot of flack at the beginning of the year. Who were they playing, this, that, and the third, whatever have you. So, and I hate to, look down on MSU or Boise State, but I just think Penn State had the better talent. So this one is where I'm like, they've been rolling, but have they played anybody like Notre Dame other than Ohio State? And Ohio State is better than Notre Dame, and they lost to Ohio State.
They lost to Oregon game one.
Oregon was better.
Yeah. You said did they play anyone?
Well, yeah. Well, I should have in this playoffs. They haven't played anybody like Notre Dame.
Oh no.
But who would you say that they have beaten that you're looking to be like, yo, that was a good squad. They beat a good squad there, or a solid tough squad.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was wondering, like, because we were talking about the snubs. The only two teams that may put in that got snubbed would be Miami and maybe Alabama. But obviously, record holds, and none of those two teams that have a better record in their conference than any of these other teams. But who would you have taken out to put maybe those two, or do you have another team that you put in? Sorry didn't mean to trump your question there, Charles, but I'm just saying, no, they didn't play anybody significantly like Notre Dame has, but
no, Notre Dame neither.
Their pathway got them to where they are because of what we're saying, the competition. Would you have put somebody else in there to maybe make that competition better?
Before I'm putting Miami in, I'm putting Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm telling you right now, I'm putting Ole Miss in. If I'm putting Ole Miss in, you got in Alabama, you got to bump Boise and SMU. But
I'd have put South Carolina in before Boise or SMU. If we're going to be real with it. You know what I mean? And we had talked about this in our chat group. How many guys do you think? Because we know there were guys, some Alabama guys sat out of their bowl game, some Michigan guys sat out of their bowl game. If they're in the playoffs, are they sitting out? You know what I mean? And I'm a firm believer, if you sit out of your bowl game, we get some of that NIL money back. Because I do believe if people you're sitting out of your bowl game, that takes away from the level of your team. And there maybe are some viewers that aren't watching that game now because the best guys aren't out there. I don't know, man. I mean, I understand, the old curmudgeon, that may not be right. It bothers me when guys sit out like it. It just bothers me. But if it had been the playoffs they're playing for something, they wouldn't have sat out.
They need contracts.
I did what? Well, I went and checked after you posted that in our group message. I didn't see too many of the stars sitting out. I can't really see any of the better guys sitting out. But I think what it is, you do lose like depth because a lot of guys are gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if Noobs goes down, Noobs backup's probably already transferred out. Now you're on the third guy. So that might have been a part of it. But go ahead, Noobs, with the contracts, because I think the NIL, they do need contracts.
Yeah, no, they need the contracts where you have like a 1 or 2 or 3 year contract. And then if you want to leave, fine, but your contract's going to be voided and you're not going to make that money. Exactly what you're saying, Chops. That's the way to kind of lock it in. You know, like you've got to do this, and this to get it. And then when you do these
incentive
things,
laden.
you get it. Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Michael? You know, give him a base salary. Give him whatever. You give him a base salary and then make it incentive laden. That's where I think the NFL should be too. I'll be honest with you.
Hey,
listen, I'm not going to give you $2 million before you show up and do nothing. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not.
Hey, quick question. Back in the day, they were student athletes. Now they're basically employees, right? Do they still get a free education, or do they have to pay for that now that they got all this buku bucks?
Man, I would like to honestly, I would love to know now how many guys are actually still going to class. Not no, seriously, because before, remember, you sat out of class. It was every once in a while, missing class. You're suspended for a game, this, that, and the third. Now you've got the money. The checks are clearing. You go to school. A lot of these athletes are going to school to get to the league, going to school to make a better living. They knew they weren't going to graduate. Now they've got NIL money. Ends are meeting like a son of a bitch for these college students. You know, hell, what was the one college quarterback? They said he's driving a Ferrari on campus. I can't remember who it was. One of the big games. He drives a Ferrari. I can't remember.
I don't know, but I can tell you, we had a star running back I never seen on campus. So,
did you see what somebody wrote an article the other day? I was reading it about how Georgia and Alabama all of a sudden are bitching and complaining now that the NIL is an active part of the league. Well, what's that tell you about Georgia and Alabama? For years, they were slicking guys up under the table. I'd like to know what Samuels has to say about that, to be honest with you, Mike. I'd like to know if he got slicked up a little bit under the table.
Oh, come on. Listen, Noobs got slicked up under the table.
No, I didn't. I did not.
Noobs, you never got an after game envelope, Noobs?
I saw it happen with basketball, but I never happened.
You never got an after game envelope?
No, sir. Not at Wake Forest.
Carson Beck drives a Lamborghini.
That was it. That was it. Yeah.
Is it? Oh, no, I was thinking of Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow bought the Batmobile. All right, let's get some picks in so we can move on to the NFL a little bit. Noobs, you said OSU and PSU. Who you like in the end?
Oh, my God. That's so hard. Notre Dame.
Okay.
To win it all.
I'm just kidding.
I was like,
I'll go Penn State. I don't know. I don't. We'll see.
Okay.
They're kind of hot right now.
All right, Shane, give me your two teams.
OSU and ND.
OSU versus Notre Dame. Who you got winning it?
OSU.
Okay. Chops, you definitely said Ohio State. Are they playing Penn State?
They're playing Notre Dame. My heart would love to say Notre Dame, but the money is going. It's got to go Ohio State. Okay. Or all that NIL money, buddy, they better come holding that trophy.
T-Sis, who you like?
Ohio State, Penn State, Ohio State.
Okay. PSU and Waddy, you got PSU, huh?
Watson, who you get?
He's having some audio problems. I don't know if he can hear us.
Well, who's Noobs got?
Noobs still Penn State.
Chops, where the hell you been?
Over Ohio. Hold on, man. Oh, really? See, you got my man Franklin. He just coming out the box, ripping. First time in the tourney, winning it all. Can't even be the top 5 team.
Yeah, I can't have that, New Bazzer. If that happens, oh man, I'm gonna be so mad at you.
Real quick, and I know we got to go to the NFL. Seeing that the fact that I know I did. I complained about the Arizona State. I complained about Boise State. I complained about SMU being there. And now we're down to the Final Four, and it's 4 powerhouse teams. And I only believe, honestly, the Penn State is there because of the trek they had. If they'd have had a different trek, I don't think they'd be there, but we'll see. Are you guys happy with the seeding in the way that it worked out? I do think they should have they should have reseeded after the first week. Are you happy the way it got seeded? And are we still, I know they're still going to put in the smaller squads, but does that need to change it all the way they've done it, or still the winner of the ACC gets an automatic first round bye?
I have some thoughts. You want them?
Go ahead, Mark.
Okay. I think the first round, if you're going to do it that way, needs to be one of the bowl games, because all 4 teams that played home games the first round won, right? All 4 teams.
Yeah.
Second round, when they played, all the top 4 teams lost because they had to go travel and go to a bowl game. I think those guys deserve a shot to play at home because they won their conference. So you play a bowl game that first round. The second round, you travel to the home field of the conference winner. Then you can go back to bowl games for the Final Four and obviously the national championship. I don't think it's right. I think the top 4 teams got screwed in the end.
Okay, go ahead, dudes, because I want to say something.
I would go to 16. I would just go to 16. I think you get a more diversified group. You would have had Ole Miss in this one. You would have had South Carolina, and then we could have put all that crap to rest because we would have had all those teams in there, and then the best teams would have won. And the other thing I wanted to say was, if they had had a national championship, it would have been Oregon and who else? If they would have just lived the way they used to do it. It was
Oregon and who would have been 2?
Ohio State, Penn State. Who would have been number 2?
It was number 2.
Georgia.
No, yeah, wait.
Georgia.
It was Georgia.
Yeah,
and they both lost, but they would have been the national champion. They would have been playing for the national championship in the old system. So it's already improved.
Yeah, here's my. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Here's my thing, Mark. Only with the pushback on what you said. The second round got okay. If we'd have put Boise State and SMU as a home game, I don't know how big their stadiums are, but I don't. Do you think they played in Tempe, Penn State and SMU, right? Did they play? No, was that at Tempe? That was in Tempe. Do you think SMU Stadium would have held that? If they'd have had a home game at Boise State in the second round, one of the big boys coming. I mean, I don't know how that would have worked, number one. And number two, you got to travel for a bowl game regardless. Now, Georgia normally gets it easy because they were playing in a bowl down here in Georgia. So Georgia and the SEC and a couple of their bowl games over the years, they played in Atlanta anyway. But a lot of times,
Chops, where do you get your peaches?
Oh, okay. Let me ask you this question, though, Mikey.
From Georgia.
Do you know where SMU is?
Texas.
It's in Dallas. Guess where they would have played that game?
No.
The Cotton Bowl.
So okay, so you're saying home. Okay, so you're not saying home state. I got you.
You know, they'd have played it. They'd have played it at that stadium, but it would have been home field advantage, so to speak. You know, it's the only problem would have been Boise. I don't know if they have a stadium that's conducive to 80,000 people. I highly doubt it. But from that perspective,
in the FCS, first off, they only had 12 in FBS. In the FCS, they have 24 teams in their playoffs, and they do run a lot more home games. But okay, so now you have home games, and you make a good point, Mark, because if they have the home games, that's great. But there is something to the Cotton Bowl in Texas, and then you got the Sugar Bowl in Louisiana. You know what I mean? So how in the pageantry that goes with that? I know those schools would love having home field, but man, I don't know, man, because geez, it would be great though, because it definitely adds an entirely new environment. Environment altogether.
Two strikes against Boise. Besides that shit ass blue turf, they only have 36,000 seats in the stadium.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I hate that turf. You guys like that turf?
No.
Oh,
no. That would fuck with my head if I was playing.
That's like all the lines on a basketball court. They got a line for everything now.
Yeah.
Waddy, can you hear us? Are you with us?
I can. Yes.
Waddy,
thank you.
Who you got winning your national championship?
Penn State.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who they playing, Waddy?
Ohio
State.
Playing? Ohio
Big
State.
matchup.
You and Sis got Penn State, right? Since
No,
you
I
took,
got Ohio State.
All right,
Noob's
my
got
bad.
Penn State.
Yeah,
All right.
me and Waddy.
Chops
you know.
got
I didn't
Ohio
know.
State.
Huh?
Chops, you
Yeah.
had Ohio State, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Noob's got Penn State.
Yep.
Sheen got Ohio State. Chops got Ohio State. T-Sizz got Ohio State. Waddy got Penn State. Guys, I'm going against the grain. I'm taking Notre Dame.
I'd love it. I'd love it.
I knew you were.
Okay.
How funny if Texas wins it all?
Oh man.
It could happen.
with this, do
Put our
you
money
think
in on the money ball.
do you think they should have changed it regardless and had Penn State, Ohio State, Texas, Notre Dame, so we don't just have another Big Ten? We don't.
Yeah.
Do we really want to see teams play again that we've already seen play? You know what I mean?
A Big Ten national championship.
Yeah, and they've already played each other anyway. Even I don't know, man. I wish they'd have
It was a
changed
good
it up.
game, though. That was a good
That's
game.
why they put them on
It
the
was.
opposite sides. That's why they put them on the opposite sides of the bracket. They want to see it.
Man, yeah.
That's exactly
gonna
right.
see.
That's money. Hey, fellas, let's get into the NFL playoffs a little bit. They're set. It's going to be pretty interesting. I didn't pull it up. I don't know why I didn't pull it up for myself here, but let me pull up the seedings real quick. But I know a lot of you probably are leaning on teams like the Ravens, Kansas City, but I think the NFC is a little more wishy-washy.
You think they're wishy-washy?
Yeah, the NFC.
Wow.
Wide open. It's more wide open.
Yeah.
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 Chops, you disagree? What?
Okay, so maybe I'm tripping, but the way I had Mark explain that, he thinks the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens right now are ahead of the pack in the AFC.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at that, I'm looking at the Lions and the Vikings and the Eagles. Now also understand that to me is the cream of the crop. Now the Vikings, or should I say the Packers, can come in and do what they need to do and upset the Eagles. Just like I honestly believe Steelers could do what they need to do and upset the Ravens. It's possible. You know what I mean? I think the three dominant teams in the NFC are just as dominant as the three dominant teams in the AFC. To me.
I have a funny feeling that Detroit loses first round.
Wow.
No,
Well, they
they're
got the bye, but you mean first
not gonna
game.
lose first round.
Yeah,
They're
their first game that they play. That's a very
Listen,
injured
they're
team,
gonna
number
play either-
one.
They're either going to play the Rams or the Vikings. They just waxed the Vikings' ass.
Okay, but
Yeah,
playoff
you're right,
football,
Mark. They're so hurt.
playoff football is different than playing regular season football. Number one, you scheme up different. Most teams, not the Steelers, most teams scheme it up different. They apply different strategy because they
Anything
know,
to get a cheap shot. Anything to
listen,
get that big in
they
there.
know, like
Yes.
Tomlin says, they're in the tournament and it's one and done. So most teams prepare to be winning that one game, no matter what it takes.
You're right, Mark. Here's the only thing. Detroit has a lot of actual ex-NFL players on their staff. Goff has been to the Super Bowl. Glenn, the defensive coordinator, even though they're a mash unit on that
Wait.
defensive side of the
Who was
ball.
Goff in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, who golf?
The Rams. Remember they lost to the Patriots? To the Rams. He played for the Rams when they lost to the Patriots.
They lost. Yeah.
They lost to the Patriots.
I didn't think he was the quarterback then.
Yeah, they lost 13-3. Now, so they have, to me, the fact how well they've still been winning and playing on defense is a testament to that coaching staff. To me, I don't care.
Well,
Oh yeah,
you said testament to the coaching staff. The coaching staff is going to be the one that cost them to get the Super Bowl.
Yes,
in my opinion.
I believe. I'm worried about that. I do
Campbell
think
has
that.
got to be careful.
Campbell
Some of
like the
those-
gamble. That's what happened in the NFC Championship.
Yeah, and it may cost him. He's got to be careful and know when to do it and when not to do it.
You sound like Kenny Rogers over there.
Kenny Stabler. I mean, yeah.
Hey,
No,
let's take a look at these games.
You gotta
Let's
hold
take a
it
look at
forward.
these games as they're going down. All right, with Chargers and Houston. That's the 3:30. What is it? 3:30, 4:30 game on Saturday. I like the Chargers. I think the Chargers have found something in Lab McConkey and Justin Herbert. I think their running game has been solid for them. more solid enough to get them through so he can make those throws. Quentin Johnston actually has really come alive too. I am really curious to see what he does next year for the Chargers, Quentin Johnston. But I like the Chargers in that game. I think that C.J. Stroud definitely had a sophomore slump.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Well, he had a sophomore slump due to, heck, half his wide receivers got hurt. So,
Right.
That's tough. That's tough.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
I got Chargers also there. I like the Chargers in that one.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with the Chargers. They got the number one scoring defense going in, and Herbert
I'd love to see D'Amico and his boys come out of there with a win now. Man,
Herbert's through 2 picks, I think, this season.
Ooh.
Yeah. Herbert is one of your top tier quarterbacks that people don't even talk about.
Ask New Buzzer who he was a fan of year before last when whatchamacallit wouldn't sell the Commanders. Like all he wore was freaking Chargers shit to school.
I do remember that. I do remember that.
Baby blue shirt went go with his eyes, he told me.
I like Herbert. When Herbert
Yeah.
was coming out, I was hoping that Pittsburgh would take a long look at him because he was Ben. To me, he was Ben coming out of college. He played at a better school, obviously, but he was Ben coming out of college. He had all the tools. Big, strong arm, could run with the ball as he needed to. Not for yardage like Lamar or something, but, to make plays.
Yeah, he can get around.
So I like the Chargers in that first game. Fellas, anybody else? I know, Waddy, you said Chargers. Sheen said Chargers. Yes. Noobs, your Chargers. How about you, Sis?
Go Bolts.
Man, I'd love to see Texans win. Chargers probably will. They're at home. They're rolling. I'd like to see the Texans win, but I'll go with
Texans are at home. Texans are at home.
Yeah.
That's another D coordinator, though. Jesse Minter's kicking ass, man. He's doing a really good job there.
With the Texans or the Chargers?
Chargers. Jesse Minter. He's the Chargers D coordinator. He's killing it.
Hey, you know who was a surprise guy to me watching the Chargers the other day against the Raiders? Freaking Bud Dupree.
Oh, yeah. He looked great.
He really was balling out. I was like, what the hell? Where's that bastard been?
Decent. He was decent for us.
Yeah, he was.
Remember, I'm
surprised you didn't call him a bum.
Quarterback out. Huh?
All right, let's go to it. The 8:00 game Saturday night. All right. First of all, somebody put Junior freaking Wells in his place. He thinks Tomlin is God. He's not God. He obviously didn't listen to the little promo thing I did or read anything about Tomlin. Tomlin has got one of the 5 worst percentages in playoffs out of coaches. I sent it to you guys today. His numbers are awful. He's awful. Okay, fellas, he's awful. It's not a gray area. All right, Marty Schottenheimer, 278. Dennis Green, 333. Chuck Knox, 389. John Robinson, God rest his soul, 400. Mike Tomlin, 444. That's the worst playoff win percentages in modern era of guys who coached in at least 10 playoff games. Don't give me that who they play. It doesn't fucking matter at this point. Tomlin can't coach his way out of a wet paper bag.
Who are you talking to?
He wants to go with this. The Chiefs and the Bills last 2 playoff games. Well, if they'd have fucking won in December, they wouldn't have been playing the Chiefs and the Bills. How about that?
I'm gonna help my man Wells out here a little bit also, just because. All right, I'm gonna say this
because we know you're a Tomlin apologist.
I am. I absolutely am, because I do think the man is a good coach. I mean, look, sometimes you're dialed up, and nobody answers sometimes. And I'm going to go with the part that when we had the playoffs with Antonio Brown, we had the 3 Bs. Well, at all those times we had those guys, somebody was always missing. And if you ain't got the players, you can forget about it.
Next man up.
Hold on, Joy. Hold on, Waddy. Waddy, you're right. Waddy, I get you. Like they said, it's not always about the X's and the O's. Sometimes about the Jimmys and the Joes.
Absolutely.
But we have to stop saying
Especially
Tomlin
in
is a
playoff
good
time.
coach or a great coach. Tomlin is a better than average coach because his record is always a little better than average.
Right.
Good coaches make their money and go down in history because of playoffs and championships. Even hell, give me a couple AFC championship games you lost. The Super Bowl, I mean, and I get it. I'm a Steelers guy. I love my
Mendenhall
Steelers.
lost that. He can't shoot.
I just-
Mendenhall lost that one.
Kevin, you're talking about guys from 10 years ago. That was competitive teams 10 years ago.
But I'm saying you're looking at the record. I got to go back 10 years because
He made the playoffs with
those
Duck
guys were
Duck
playing.
Dodgers in the 21st century.
Hey.
He had Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, and freaking
Listen.
Mason Rudolph. They were 10-7
Terrible,
last
terrible,
year.
and
He had-
terrible.
He got rid of the whole freaking QB room, got a brand new QB room. He went 10-7. The guy was 10-7.
So with
He just
those
lost four
quarterbacks, you
straight.
really thought he was going to win a playoff game?
No.
Isn't that what he's
Hold on.
paid to do?
He
we
was
see-
going to win a playoff.
We see him do the same
Hold on.
things every
Was he
week.
going to win a playoff game with those quarterbacks you just named?
Hold on. You don't get
Would the
to,
Patriots
but hold on,
be a
Waddy.
dynasty and Brady be considered the GOAT and Belichick still get a 24-year-old girl if they just went 10-7 and those one Super Bowl?
What?
What is
I
it?
missed the first part of it.
I thought this was supposed to be dry January. Number two, hold on, Waddy.
About?
You don't get to shop for the groceries. You cook the meal. Then when it tastes like cat piss, you blame it on something else. He brought those players in. He's coaching them. If they're not producing, bro, that's on you.
Time out.
That's his problem. He's not
He
coaching
didn't bring
them.
them in. He didn't bring them in. He had
Okay, so
there's no
okay,
way-
Yeah,
Hold on,
he did
hold on.
because
Hold on.
Arthur
John,
Smith
you
brought
brought
like
those in.
Hold on. Give me 10 seconds. Give me 10 seconds. He's been there for 18 years. Either he had no say in who the players brought in and who they drafted. Well, why would a coach stay there if he had no power? Or either he did have power to bring in the players and he continues to bring in less than good talent, so to speak. Can't be both. Hold on. Remember Parcells left Dallas or wherever he was and he said, if they're not going to let me buy the ingredients, whatever.
Yes.
So if Tomlin had the power to bring in the players, he chose to bring in crappy players. Or are you telling me
There's no way he had total power?
Yeah,
There's
no
no
way.
way.
So you're
There's
telling
no
When
way.
Colbert was there's no way he had total power.
Okay.
No
Okay.
way.
So
Colbert
why would
sucked
Tomlin
ass.
stay? So why would Tomlin stay under Colbert's thumb for 16 years and you had no say in who you got to coach? It can't be
Because
both.
that is because of the franchise. You're coaching in Pittsburgh.
For years,
Coach in
everybody said
Pittsburgh.
Tomlin could go to another organization and do whatever he wanted. For years.
Why would you?
Why would he stay? Why would you stay where you have no
You're
power?
one of the better franchises in the National Football League.
Oh,
Why would you?
chops. You would stay because no one's going to get rid of you.
That's it
But
right
they're
there.
saying he could go to anywhere. Remember, for years, everybody said Tomlin could go wherever he wanted. Why wouldn't I go to? I've already won a Super Bowl. Why wouldn't I go somewhere where I get to pick the roster?
Because I'm not going to go to the Giants. I'm not going to go to the Giants and then
in the National Football League.
You wouldn't stay in a marriage where you have no say, no power. You wouldn't stay at a job where they treat you like jack shit. I just don't get it.
He's got to have some input. He's got to have input.
Well, they all work for the same company. So yeah, you're
Fellas,
wrong.
I put it in the text. Duck, Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, different coordinators, different wide receivers. Only thing that has stayed the same is Ben Tomlin. That's
I'm over Tomlin, man. I am. I'm sorry. I'm over.
Way by him.
Let's
Buddy, I'm
move
over it, buddy.
philosophical. I knew News got dropped a nugget. Drop a nugget, dude.
I'm sick of those
what I
skull
wanna do.
caps he wears. I'm sick of his outfits. I'm sick of his Tomlinisms. I'm sick of. I'm tired of him, man. It's time to move on.
Saturday night game, other than T-Sis, we'll get you Pepsi. But I think we're going to make a drinking game. Every time they run a toss sweep, we got to do a shot.
I'm so fucked up by the end of the first quarter.
I don't drink, New Bazzer, so no.
That's what that play with Derrick Henry. And he thinks everybody can run it. Derrick Henry runs the sweep well. That's it. I don't know why Arthur Smith keeps running it.
Did you see the one sweep? I can't even remember. They were going left with it. They did the toss sweep. The linebacker, the D tackle made the play because Darnell Washington didn't even fucking see him. He was double teaming. He was supposed to look down. He didn't even see him. He came right by.
I don't know which one of the 18 toss sweeps you're talking about.
Exactly. You're
I
right.
like when they
You're
toss
right.
sweep the Corduroy Patterson.
You're right.
He shouldn't even be on the field.
Oh,
Corduroy, he was swishing through there.
Hey, listen.
It's terrible.
You got Arthur Smith.
In defensive corduroy, he can get to the hole faster than Najee Harris.
Stop. Dude,
he had the same average as Najee Harris, so he's doing something.
I'm faster than him.
Hey,
Najee?
Patterson, whatever Cordy, whatever his name is, it don't even matter.
You got Arthur Smith as your offensive coordinator. Before that, you had Canada. Before that, you had Sphincter. Before that, who was it before Sphincter? It was another guy. Who?
No, it wasn't Wiesenhunt. It was
Haley.
Todd Haley.
Haley was back in 17. Well, he was in 17, and that was Ben's best year too.
Yeah. But whoever it was before Sphincter, he ran the same offense. These guys have all run the same offense. Tomlin hires these guys, Kevin. He hires his coordinators.
Yeah,
he hires his assistant coaches. He hired a fucking guy to coach the offensive line for Carolina.
I'm gonna need you. Listen, I'm gonna need you to get on the board and show me some imagination. I don't want to see no little league 32 dabs, man. I don't want to see that bullshit, man. I'm done with Tomlin. Watson.
Haley, Arians, Wiesenhunt.
I'm done with him.
Malarkey, Gilbride,
Ron Earhart.
Watch the Vikings and Rams.
Who was it right before Sphincter?
I don't even remember Sphincter. What year was that?
Randy Sphincter.
Todd Haley was right before him.
Okay. And everybody ran him out of town because all we ran was a quick screen. We ran a quick screen.
Yeah, Watson. It's time to move on, man.
You know, look at his defense. Terrell Austin's terrible. We're always in fucking zone coverage.
Hold on. Hey,
I've
Terrell,
said that from the start.
Terrell, you're my guy. You're a pick guy. When I was young, I used to run around down there, and you was one of the guys. But, yeah, you got to go too, Terrell. Sorry. You stink.
Junior's right. We have mediocre teams, but Tomlin's bringing them in. Fellas, do you realize, regardless of what we
said, thank you.
Thank you for tell him. Seriously, fellas, do you realize, and I don't know if you want to call it con or whatever, regardless if it didn't work out in the quarterback position, is still not what we thought it was. We looked at Patrick Queen, who's having issues. We looked at Russell Fields and Russell is splashes made in free agency. That's the only moves Tomlin has ever made in free agency, the only splash moves, because we got Minka in a trade. You know what I mean? I don't know, man.
Minka, who plays 30 yards off downfield, and everybody's like, oh, he sucks. We need to get rid of him.
How did he make the Pro Bowl this year?
Pro Bowl.
I don't know how he made the Pro Bowl. It's not the guy's fault, though. They're telling him to play 30 yards downfield so nobody gets by him.
Yeah, but he still can make that.
Because in the Pro Bowl, you're not supposed to make plays, so that's true. Back there making no plays.
True. Now that is true. All
right, let's go down this road.
Are we in this predicament because of Ben?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I heard Ness.
No.
Ness?
No.
Yes.
I agree, Kevin.
Because even when they lost Ben, they could have made other moves to get better quarterback talent. They didn't.
Hey,
and you,
hey, do me a favor when tomorrow on your off day when you got 15 minutes, go back and check all of Colbert's drafts. He was like 30 for 240. His picks were terrible. He had a couple good years, but he had a whole lot of bad ones. Scott Frost.
Is that Jack's son?
Yeah, Junior, we were still bitching because they lost to the Colts in Dallas.
Yes,
93
yards.
Cleveland.
Yes.
And Cleveland.
Yes, Junior.
I mean,
yes.
I'm sorry.
So, again, here's my point. Just like you guys made a great point here.
I'm with you, Junior.
How terrible. Seriously, hold on. Whoever just made the point how terrible Colbert's picks were.
That was me.
So again, my thing would be, why would Tomlin stay in a spot where he had no power, yet you're bringing me garbage? If he went to any other organization, if he can get mediocre or less than mediocre players to play well and at least get them to 500, what would he have done with some great rosters? Why would you have
go back and like Artie Burns. Like, go back and check who they could have got those years, and you'd be like, God damn. But listen, Chops, I'm gonna go where I know I'm not gonna get fired. Chops, if I want to do this for 20 years and I know I ain't gonna get fired, that's where I'm going. I don't care if I got any say. I still get paid on Tuesday. That's all that matters to me.
Now that is true. You made the point. That's true. That's what the kids say.
If I'm not gonna get fired, like, listen, Chops, if me and you go rob the bank tomorrow and they come and say, hey, Chops and Rasheen, don't do this again, guess where I'll be on Friday? Robbing the bank.
You know what, Chops? I have a question. You eat cat soup? What's that cat soup shit you talk about?
Listen to me. Never had it, but I'm assuming it tastes like ass.
Next question.
How about this song? At the end of the day, old man Rooney, who owned them, the chief, he was a sports guy.
Yes, he was.
His son Art was a sports guy. This guy is a lawyer, and he just doesn't want to rock the boat. He's not going to rock the boat. He's not going to do anything. This isn't going to change until his son takes over.
That's quite interesting.
I've heard this before. Taylor told me this. Told me this off camera.
I remember you saying that.
But it's interesting. You would think he would get somebody in there to make those decisions. You got egomaniac Jerry Jones and Daniel Snyder's who just had their hands in everything. And I'm not expecting Rooney to do that, but do some type of management. Whenever you see your team mediocre year after year, the coach's winning percentage in the playoffs is just so you got to do something about it, right?
I got something real quick.
Let the Commanders fan talk for a little bit here.
All right, just briefly. All right,
because I know he knows.
A lot of negativity. All right, what do they have to do to win? And they have. Listen, I will say this: they do a good job against mobile quarterbacks. They do a good. I thought they did a good job the first time they played against Lamar. I feel like they contain him quite a bit. They do a good job keeping him in the pocket. They did a great job when they played the Commanders too, of keeping the quarterback from running. What do they have to do to win?
It's got to be mistake-free football on the offense.
Kevin and I were texting today. Well, yeah, we were going back and forth in the group, but I think your points were 100% on point.
Yeah. I mean, one, I think they got to play Fields this week. I really do. And if I were them, I tell you what, I would start the game with Fields and catch the Ravens off guard. That's number one. Number two, when I get to the 40-yard line, I don't care if it's first series, second series, whatever it is, I got to take a shot deep because then that backs Baltimore the heck up out of there a little bit. And then after that piece of it, you got to go no huddle. Now, for me, I said, when we get to that 50-yard line, it's automatic no huddle the whole time at that point. And I only said that because I don't want to get you got to look at the 3 and outs. How are we doing with that piece of it? But you got to keep them off balance. And then on defense, I tell you what, if Zay Flowers is not playing, then I'm going to find the next best receiver. That's who Porter's going to go with.
Rashad Bateman.
Yep, that's who Porter's going with. I'm not going to worry about that for the rest of the game. Done. All right. Then the next piece I got to go to is Andrews. I got to know where the heck he's at every single play. All right.
And he's hit off the line of scrimmage. And Likely
off the line.
Hands on him and Likely at the line of scrimmage every time.
I'm not going to worry about Likely because he's a flake. Sometimes he just flakes out. You got to go game by game with him.
True.
He does flake.
True.
And then after that, I'm going to take one of those DBs and I'm going to spy Lamar the whole entire game. It's like playing man. I'm going to watch where he goes.
I got your DB to do that.
Yeah.
You know who's going to do that?
Take off. Here we go.
Deshaun Elliott's going to do that.
There you go.
Yeah, but the thing they do well is the edge. They do a good job playing wider. They'll play wider to keep him in the pocket.
Yep. Keep him in that pocket. Do not let him escape. If he escapes, he got to go to his left. So then that way he throws back across the field. And I tell you what, safeties, be ready because he will throw it from that side to the middle of the field. He does it all the time. And when they get inside the 10, the first time they run that replay, he keeps it every time.
Yep. 100%. Yep. I'm not even that worried about, and I should be, but I'm not that worried about Henry. Like 2 of the 3 times they've faced him in recent years, they've shut him down.
He only had 1,900 yards. I'm not worried either.
Yeah.
I can't worry about what he had against every
his plays
team.
in chunks. You can't let him get past that line of scrimmage. You got to plug those holes, man.
Got to fill the holes.
Because once he gets past that, that's a wrap. That's 250-some pounds coming at you. If I'm a DB, I'm like, nah.
Every team knows you have to plug them holes. 1,900 yards later, that's a lot easier said than done. But you're right. It's got to be mistake-free on both sides of the ball. Has to be. Need a couple turnovers.
It's a will, man.
Watt's got to show up. I need a strip sack. Watt's got to show up. Got to show up.
This is the week, where if he does, hey, if you a player, this is the week. This is the week where he has to make something happen.
And they're healthy. Healthy.
Nobody, we're going in. So this
is a healthy conversation. What's up next? We got 10 minutes.
Hey, let me ask you this. Anybody believe the Steelers could win this game besides me and Rasheen?
I
do believe they can win it. But I tell you what, after I watched the first series, I can tell you. Because that tells me everything. We go 3 and out, it's the same old. I can't do it.
Can't start slow.
Yeah, and we know the Steelers will keep it close so they have a chance. And real quick, I hate to get off topic, but Noob started to talk about something, Black Monday and the coaches that got axed. And I really want to talk about, because I think some of the coaches got done dirty the way the organization is ran. Go ahead, News. What are your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts on?
Before that, do we want to do the rest of the games real quick?
Denver and Buffalo. Who you like? Buffalo, right?
Buffalo.
Denver.
Buffalo. Okay. I'd love to see Denver win. I'd love to see Denver win.
Green Bay going to Philadelphia. Who you like?
Philly.
It depends, though. If they can.
I know, News. I know.
That quarterback situation.
He's playing.
Yeah, he's playing.
He's got a soft head, though. It won't take much in that cold weather.
No.
Washington goes to Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield's been on fire. Can Washington take care of business there?
No.
Can Tampa slow down Jane Daniels?
Hell yes.
Tampa's going to win.
Hell yes. And we're going to party in D.C. like it's 93.
HTTC.
You're going to start playing that go-go, baby.
Hey, Minnesota goes to the Rams.
Rams. No, Minnesota. I'm going Minnesota. Minnesota Rams.
Yes, Minnesota.
Okay.
Rams got a better running game. I'm going to go Rams.
Minnesota. Right. You know Baker had 41 touchdowns this year?
Yeah.
Baker
should have been the MVP. Believe it or not, fellas, he should have been in the MVP conversation.
Too many picks.
Yep.
25,
all right.
I think.
Let's talk about that for the next couple of minutes because we're at 7:54, fellas. I agree. Noobs, Black Monday, your thoughts. I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, are they calling it Black Monday because Antonio Pierce?
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Man. That's some bullshit.
It is.
No, seriously. One and done. How can you say a coach is good in 1 year?
Yeah, they did him dirty. They did him dirty.
Well, I think in Mayo with the Mayo thing, didn't he come out? Didn't the guy say he was wrong for doing it? But I think they want Vrabel to be the coach there.
I think they do.
Yeah, they did that because he was talking to the Jets and the Bears, right?
Yeah, then why didn't you sign him last year?
Yes.
I think he got fired after Mayo was hired. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to go back and look. But I think the reason he didn't go there last year, Mayo was hired right away, right after Belichick stepped down, and Vrabel was still hanging in the balance with Tennessee.
Yeah.
Well, then he should have waited. If that was it, if he knew that's the guy he wanted, because, the owners talk, he should have waited if that's the guy he wanted. Because then he turns around, he says something like the team was unsatisfactory as for their performance. Well, did he not look at that roster? Because there was nobody on there.
Yeah. Well, what about and some people are saying that he got fired because he won, which took them out of the number 1 overall pick. But you have Drake May. Who else were you? Who were they going to take at number 1? Regardless. And what about Pierce? Because Noobs brought up Pierce. Do you think Pierce went home Monday night? He's like, babe, we made it. I'm good. Then they called him up Tuesday morning. Hey, bro, don't take that donut out the bag. You ain't gonna be here too long.
I texted his ass. They texted him.
Are you? Oh man.
Yeah, because he'd have went off on him. That's just wrong, though. That's wrong.
Okay, so we had was there anybody they kept? Are you surprised they kept Daboll and Shineline or whatever his name is in New York?
Yes.
Daboll, yes.
Daboll's terrible. All the Giants fans, they want that dude out of there. They want the GM out of there.
All the players want him out of there.
He's losing games.
And they
terrible.
him.
I just the video of Gable when he put his feet up on the table when he's talking to Jaden Daniels. I'm like, what? He looked like such a clown. Like that was the most embarrassing video I've ever seen of a head coach. He looked like the biggest wannabe, like I want to be cool type guy.
He thought it was a big shot, didn't he?
Yeah,
Did you also
exactly.
see the one where he had Jaden Daniels draw the play up on the board, and then he's like, "Okay, what are you going to do next?" He goes, "I'm going to throw a touchdown."
That shocked me. The Giants keeping both those cats. They shocked me. They shocked me, and I was firing a guy like me after 1 year. He played for you. You hired him 1 year. Really?
1 year.
That's crazy, man.
Would you want the Jets job if you had the opportunity?
No.
If Rodgers is I'm not even sure Woody Johnson is a good man.
You just
now listen to what you're saying, Chops. This is why Tomlin won't go.
Yes.
This is why he stays.
That's
why. Stefanski's not going.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, he's another one.
Go look. How about the Bears? Would anybody want to coach the Bears?
No.
Not with that quarterback.
No.
And to me, though, it's that entire organization. They can't draft the quarterback. They can't get anything right. Man, I guess you're right. Dream. They say
the quarterback does get a lot of flack. He did have a decent year considering the team. He's over 60% completion, 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, but 6 interceptions. He's right there with Jaden and Bo.
Don't forget, Sis, was a lot of that came in time they had already lost, so the defense is playing prevent. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
But also real quick, when they lost, was it Detroit? I know it was an indoor game where none of the veterans were even hurrying. Towards the end, their clock management is terrible. It's just a bad organization to me.
Yeah,
well,
I agree.
The other one, I know McCarthy is not he's not under contract technically January the 14th, but at the same time, how does he get another interview for a job?
The crazy part is, fellas, you saw that Jerry Jones denied that request by Chicago. Yeah. He denied it, so I guess he's re-signing him.
He's not, but he's not under contract. January the 14th, he can talk to anybody he wants.
True. So
some of those jobs will be. Yeah, that's a week from now.
Is it because that Super Bowl win holds that much stock? Because he's been doing
I have no idea.
Dallas.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's not been very good.
Well, think about it. He's been 12-5 for excluding this year. He went like 12-5 for the last 3 years. That's better than Tomlin.
And lost in the first round, just like Tomlin.
Yeah, but I'm saying we're talking about how bad his year is this year, and he's been terrible in Dallas. But again, when you have Jerry Jones as maybe he's just sitting back. Would he even want to come back if he knows other teams want him? Would he even want to come back?
And it depends on the team.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things to look at from that perspective. We'll be visiting this again next week because there'll be some chess pieces that move around.
And next week, I'd also like to talk about Saquan and that
Eric Dickerson was clearly his first 4 letters of his last name for what he said, in my opinion. So, hey, fellas, great being back with you guys. I'm sure we'll be blowing up each other's phones watching the games this weekend. You can find everybody at their hashtags or at their location on social media under their names. You can find the Original Sports Podcast, our webpage, podpage.com, Original Sports Podcast with Mark Maradei. The fellas now are doing some writing for us. We've got some really good in-depth writing coming about a bunch of different things. So please check those out. Share them with your friends. You can find us on Facebook, X, and Snapchat. All that's at OSP with MM. And you can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube at Original Sports Podcast. Shout out to our networks we're on. Let's Talk Sports, Sideline Sports, ESPN, Elite Sports and Entertainment Network, Manning Media, and Peak One Sports, along with National Streaming Sports, who is our big advocate and has us on Roku. If you want to check us out, email us or anything, you can email us at originalsportspodcast@gmail.com. Thanks to Steve Medley for the voice intro, Charlie Hodgson for the music, And check us out next Tuesday to Experience the O on the Original Sports Podcast.
Who made Noobs a snow shoveling fan? I didn't vote on that.
Noobs is the snow.
Hey, so wait, Noobs, did you do the whole driveway?
I just put it on there.
This podcast is part of the Frederick Podcast Network. Learn more at listenfrederick.com.